Okay, welcome to Blue Collar Cooking, 10th episode, going strong. Just to remind you, it's bluecollarcooking@yahoo.com, no G. So, we're thinking Good Friday, we got fish, Easter, we're going to do some fish dishes today. We're going to do a honey glazed salmon, we're going to do crab cakes, and we're going to do a 4-bean salad. I love salads, I love the bean salad, the wife, not so much. So, first thing is we're going to get some peppers started. So for the crab cakes, what we're going to do is first we're going to just cut the peppers. And it's not really a traditional crab cake. We're going to do a little Bronx style maybe. So we're going to put some pepper in there as well. We're going to add a couple of flavors in it that we might like. Maybe you're not used to seeing, but it's going to make a difference. So once again, we're going to slice the peppers accordingly. You see, as everybody's concerned about my fingers, I have them now inside and crunched down like everybody wished me to do. So this should end up better. I should be able to go to work with no problem with the fingers. So we're going to put this to the side. We're going to just do a rough chop, and then we're going to get a little smaller as we go along. You want the peppers to be a part of the crab cake, not to be the crab cake, so you want to make them a little small. So to get in there, and the way we're going to do this is we're going to put all the dry ingredients together, and I'm going to put all the moist ingredients together. So basically a crab cake is 5 essential elements. You have your crab, you have your mayo, you have your mustard, you have your breadcrumbs, and then you have your special piece. Right now we're going to have our peppers. And everything else you can just put in there to taste. So that's entirely up to you as you go along. We're going to put a little bit of onion in here. We're going to use a red onion this time for a little bit of flavor. Or a little difference on the flavor. Put that to the side. Just going to chop this up fine. Alright, we'll go across it one more time. I'm going to take some parsley. And trick the parsley, break the stem off, fold it over, roll it, and then cut it, and before you know it, it's nice and small. So here's all your dry ingredients right now. You can mix it all up, doesn't really matter, everything's going to go into the same bowl anyway. Just want to make sure it's small enough, like I said, it doesn't become the crab cake. It infuses into the crab cake and makes it good. Nice pretty colors, huh? It's a little bit like Christmas over here, right? Okay. Okay, next step, now we have our seafood stuff here. We have the crab as we promised, and here is a special treat. Gonna make a Bronx style crab cake. We're going to add some shrimp. Yes, I said shrimp. Not the norm. I told you we're doing things a little different today. Blue collar cooking. I mean, look, I was growing up. We didn't have crab. So my idea of a crab cake was with shrimp. All right, and it was usually the one that came out of the box with the breading on it. So this really is a treat for me. So anyway, what you want to do is as you have the crab, right? It's jumbo lump, and you don't want to shred it because then it won't be able to stick together when you make it. Now, you're going to think it's like a meatball or whatever, and it has to stick together, but you can make patties, you can make squashes, you can make meatballs, you can make whatever you want out of it. But basically, as you see the crab meat, you don't want it to be too minced. You want it just to be manageable so that when you have it inside the bowl and you form it, you can get some sort of a patty out of it or a smaller ball, and you squeeze it down. So there's not really a lot to do on this. Just break a little bit of the lump up. Just cross chop it a few times. Spread it out nicely. I think that'll work out. Okay. Oh. Okay, now, third part is we're going to make all the moist ingredients. We have an egg. See the egg. One hand, look at that. Ah, there's a special treat for you today. Going to put some Dijon mustard in there. Now, I don't know. There's probably measurements for this and everything else, but I just put whatever I think looks good. Get it in there. We're gonna need some mayonnaise. For sure, use a different spoon. And this is like when you're making meatballs. Put the eggs and the breadcrumbs in there. You gotta make sure that you got enough to hold it together and bind it, right? Because you want it to stick together. That's your mayo. Let's see, what else should we use? We should use a little bit of dried mustard. I think that always works well. Got a mustard theme going on here, the crabs, right? Sprinkle a little bit in there. Nothing too crazy. And we get our salt and pepper. Put a little hot pepper flake in there. A little Old Bay seasoning from Baltimore. If I can open it, we can have it. There we go. And again, like I told you have to have your 4 or 5 ingredients. Everything else after that is just to taste. Put a little olive oil in there. Olive oil is great. My grandfather lived off this stuff. You can't have too much of it. My grandfather used to put olive oil in his cornflakes in the morning. That's how much he loved olive oil. And I think that's about it. Oh, wait, hold on. We have 2 candidates in the back. We have a little Worcestershire sauce. A couple sprinkles of that in there. And some cider vinegar. Always good stuff. Put a little tanginess in there. I think we'll be okay today, people. I really do. After this, we're going to make a nice tartar sauce to go with this. But right now, I think we're in good shape. Now, the other ingredients are going to be obviously the crab and the shrimp. And then we're going to have the panko breadcrumbs. That's going to go in when we put in the crab meat. Okay, right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's all put in a bowl together. Now, they call this folding, which I have no idea why. Because I haven't put any clothes in here. They want you to fold it. They don't want you to beat it up. They don't want you to do anything bad to it or damage it. But it looks pretty good so far. See a lot of different colors in there, right? The object here is to get the bottom over to the top. Just like when you're making meatballs with your grandmother. And you see I'm doing this and I'm holding it. See, this is where blue collar cooking really gives you the feel of being a chef. Because I don't have anyone here to hold the camera. So I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm sitting here holding the camera. And I'm stirring, or folding rather, not stirring, folding. Putting everything together. And at some point, we're going to have some crab cakes made out of here. So if the angles don't look good, I'll try to get you the best one I can as I'm doing it. If you don't like it, well, you know there's other shows. There's the Food Network, which has perfect production, executive producers, wonderful cameras. But you're not going to get me. And this is important. Here's a little more breadcrumbs. Maybe put a little bit more mayonnaise in there, I think. Just to bind it a little bit. Good thing I didn't clean the spoon. And we're going to finish folding it. You can see how it's starting to bind up, right? Now the next wonderful piece is going to be, how do we put this together and how do we crab and cake it? And I'm going to teach you a secret. Give me 1 second. I'm going to clean my hands. Be right back. Looks pretty good, people. You're going to love it. I just put the camera phone into my dishwasher, so now you can actually see it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to take them, similar to like a meatball, put them together like this, got some breadcrumbs in there. What we're going to do is, if you see it, we're going to put them into a pan. What I'm going to do with this pan is I'm going to put it in the freezer when they're done, so that they freeze a little bit. And when they freeze a little bit, what you'll get is about 15 to 20 minutes worth of freezer time. Helps it really gel and bind. You get a little more moisture inside of the crab cake. And as it's cooking in the hot oil, all that moisture comes out and moisturizes the inside of the crab cake, which typically can get dry. So that's what we're going to try to avoid. So you see we're making the crab cakes get a little flattening. You can have a dozen different tools they can use on the Food Network and all these other great shows, but blue collar cooking, it's simple. This was good enough for my grandmother and grandfather. It's good enough for me. It works. Like I tell you all the time, make sure you clean your hands, because you do not want to eat what your hands have been, especially if you work. So we get a couple more made here. Probably get about 8 or 10 out of this. And then we're going to put them in the freezer rather. Get them in there nice. Make a couple big ones here. You want to keep them all the same size for the most part, because you want them to cook evenly when you put them in the hot olive oil later. But don't be afraid to make one for Daddy and one for the kids and the wife. It's okay to separate them. Again, this is all good for Good Friday, right? You got Palm Sunday coming up, but Good Friday we know is all about the fish. You don't want to eat meat. You don't want to blow what you gave up for Lent all in one day. A little flattening there. Nice, nice. Did I say nice, nice yet? Sorry, guys. See, I usually have somebody in the background telling me, nah, yo. He knows who he is. So, I guess I said it. So, we got the first nice, nice of the video episode right after the last crab cake is being made. See how nice it looks? Nice, nice. Okay, so now we got the crab cakes made. We're going to make our own little tartar sauce. Homemade tartar sauce. It's not that hard, not that difficult. Obviously, we start with mayonnaise. Nice little amount of mayonnaise there. We're going to go back to the Dijon mustard again. That's the favorite on the crab. Go with that. Back with some dried mustard. Once again, the Old Faithful. Olive oil. Little trick here, we're going to put a little honey in this one. A little sweetness to it. Not too much, just enough. We're going to use honey later on for the salmon. I told you it was a honey glaze. I'm going to enjoy that. Worcestershire. Our apple vinegar. What else should we put in there? Some hot pepper flakes. And some pepper to taste. There's one ingredient, much needed. We're going to put some sweet relish in here. Make sure we get that in there. Okay. Let's whisk it around. It's starting to look like a tartar sauce. Got the right coloring. That's always a good sign. The liquids are binding into it. Spin it around a little bit. Use a whisk. Blue collar cooks can use whisks. You don't have to use a fork like you beat up on an egg. See how it all comes together? Look at that good thick consistency, nice. Here we go. Second nice of the day. Tartar sauce, homemade, blue collar style. Nice, nice.